Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you for waiting online. I'm just doing a check to see if Principal Kline is on the Zoom, just so that, and once he's on, we can get started. You can just, oh, okay, okay, great. Sorry, we don't have the ideal, just to let everybody know, we do not have the ideal Zoom situation. I know many of you are quite experts on that. I know I'm sitting in a chair most days on Zoom. And so we're working with what we got. And once I find Brent and I can unmute him, looking at all of your, I was gonna say shiny faces, but I see mostly names. We can get started. And thank you all for joining. I know that this is a whole different time and we're trying to adjust to all of this. Third from the last. Is he on the phone? And thank you so much to Carl. Carl is the Pally IT person, and we couldn't have done this without him, and we really appreciate all his time. Sorry, I'm checking. I'm still checking. Brent, can you raise your hand so I can see it? I don't know if that's going to work. Let me see. And we will get, and I also just wanted to let you know, oh, there you are, Brent. Now I see you. That, and I'm going to, the way we are set up, I'm going to make you the host. And I'm not quite sure how we'll do Q&A, but I am going to make you the host. Thank you very much for coming. I wanted to let everybody know that we are recording this, just so that you know, because the way Zoom works, we have a limit in terms of numbers of participants, and for those that couldn't make it anyways. So also want to thank the Parent Network team for this year. We have Kanan, Katya, and Lisa, and myself, and we will continue to bring topics. We have stuff planned, and with that, I'm going to hand it over to Brent. Yes. So Brent, you should be the host now. No?
There we go. I wasn't able to unmute myself till just right now for some reason, so thank you, everyone. And I'm assuming, Karen, thumbs up, you can hear me? We're all good? Okay. I'm a little scrambled right now. I was trying to get some communication out to staff real quick, so I apologize for joining right at the last minute. I would say overall that we've had a pretty positive start in midst of all of the craziness here with dealing with distance learning. My message to staff this morning that I'm going to be sending out a little bit. I mean, you know, not only is it COVID, but we have big thunder, lightning, and a heat wave, and fire and smoke, and it's just like, my gosh, what else can happen, and what are we going to be dealt? But what gives me hope, great hope here at Pali currently right now, is that our teachers are doing a superb job um, in terms of improving and changing their practice from last year when the distance learning just came upon us overnight. So much has been done over the summer with all teachers individually, with teams, with department, and even the entire school to ensure that we are providing our students with the best educational experience that we can. Of course, there's going to be bumps in the road and some mishaps with technology and screen sharing and messaging and calendaring and all of those sorts of things. And I know that students are also experiencing some issues here and there with technology. And we're going to be sending out a message to students just to help correct some of the technology glitches, particularly with connecting up to Zoom. The current terms of, I'm looking at the questions and I'm gonna kind of talk through that. Um, the in terms of the Parent Connect support, I think the main thing is just ensuring that parents are remaining connected and able to not only continue communication but support of individual families and our students as we work through this. I know it's beyond school, and there's several of us that are dealing with not only personal concerns and upheaval in our world, and we need to ensure that we're keeping everybody in our communication and our thoughts. We're still working in terms of testing and assessment. We have a group of teachers that we're working through dialogue and best practices so that we can ensure that we're providing assessment opportunities for students. In connection with that, with students with taking science labs, the science teachers just received the necessary technology to do virtual labs with students. It's a program called Gizmos. And so they'll be working through that to ensure that they are providing students with a lab experience that's virtual. It's not going to be as real as we would hope, but I think it's going to be something that will get us by as we continue the distance learning process. These questions not really in order, so my conversation might not be in order for you. Yes, we're going to have a Spirit Week, and it'll be more of a virtual Spirit Week, I am sure, as well as student clubs. We're beginning that process of identifying the clubs that we can offer and that we can do effectively during the distance learning process. It's all about reimagining what we do, and everything that we have done is different now. For instance, I was thankful that we were able to, get books to students as best we can. We're still working through that. If any parents know that their child does not have a book, we are open until 5 o'clock each day. All day for students to come and pick up textbooks. And so if that's a concern, please ensure that that's known to our kids. The utilization of phones, I will talk to our teachers of using phones during class time. I know that there are some tools that we can use, particularly Kahoot, and we are looking at expanding beyond just using the phone for interaction between teacher and students and groups of students. We do not have the ability currently, especially since our county is still under the watch list in terms of facilitating tests, particularly like the SAT. Currently, we are unable to even consider that until we get off the watch list, and we can start looking, if that's possible, in terms of getting an SAT experience here for our students as quick as possible. It's obvious that the hours that students are in class now is different than in a normal time. Students are going to get as much of the content as possible, but what teachers have been doing in their content groups and course-alike groups is identifying the most essential standards that we can address, especially during this distance learning. So there will be less, but hopefully we'll be able to dive deeper into the content, into particular subject standards, so that students are definitely getting the appropriate course material as quick as we can. We do have students, or the tutorial piece is that is more of an option for students, and at this time we're working on ensuring that we're providing not only that opportunity, but some checks and balances to ensure that students are getting the appropriate tutorial experience. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at the questions. And I think that's it. The back to school, I'm having conversations with IL, the instructional leaders today, trying to conceive and think of a virtual back to school night. Not only is overwhelming, but I want to ensure that it's an appropriate experience for teachers, and especially for you as parents. So I'll be having those conversations. Yes, we will have it. Well, we have it, typically it would be next Thursday, and it might be delayed by a week, and I will be communicating as soon as possible once we have that dialogue established. So Karen, I don't know if there would be like specific questions that you would like me to address. If I don't know how that process is happening here. If I could ask to unmute you, Karen.
Sorry.
Okay. I went through the questions. I don't know if I had them all, but from what I could tell, I addressed the questions. I don't know if there's specific questions that parents would like me to.
Yeah, let's open it up. You guys can chat at me privately, or put something in the group that we can see. We had what Brent had gone through was the questions that you sent ahead of time, and so this is your chance to ask. And yeah, some of those questions were mine. So we got through the Spirit Week and some of the other activities. So anything else that you guys want to know for the seniors?
There is a question about calculus books. My son takes calculus, and we ran out. Yes, we were getting more, and actually we have more currently. So I would come back today after school to pick up a calculus book.
Okay. And then I see something about the sports activities. I know that that's on the Pally Connect today too. I think there's an update probably from Coach Gifford on that, but do you want to speak a little bit about sports?
I mean, yeah, I mean, currently there are none. And again, once we get off the wait list, then we can start bringing small groups of students in. But the sports, I have a meeting actually tomorrow with the sports league. And so I'll have some more information. And once I understand the parameters of the expectation, the sports season currently are getting condensed and starting later. So I will have an update in terms of exactly when that will happen after tomorrow.
And I do have Greer Stone, who is our new student activities director. He was able to just join. And Greer, let me see if I cannot unmute you. So maybe you can, and you could do a quick introduction.
How much is it worth to you, Greer?
We're a great group of people.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Greer Stone. I'm the Student Activities Director here at Pally. My apologies for being late. I also teach U.S. History at Gunn, so kind of juggling both meetings this morning. But yeah, I'm excited to be here at Pally. I'm a Pally alum myself, so I'm really thrilled to be able to be back at Pally, especially in this role. And I think so far this year, what we've been able to do with having to be distance learning has been pretty successful so far. I mean, freshman orientation seemed to go well, got some good feedback from students. We've been having some really fun class meetings and Pally welcome meetings. We were able to bring students back onto campus to pick up their textbooks and their swag bags as well. There's been a lot of excitement about that. And we had a senior swag day the other day, being able to bring some students onto campus. And and I'm working with ASB right now to continue to figure out new and innovative ways that we can continue to create a sense of community and belonging here on a virtual Pally campus until we're able to bring everybody back in person. So yeah, it's a unique year, but I think we're gonna have a really successful, fun year. So I'm excited to be here, and it's really nice to virtually meet all of you.
And welcome. I know I sent out to some parents. I did take a peek at the senior swag day, and I thought it was amazing. I thought you guys did a great job with the announcements about social distancing, so everybody feel good about that. But it was really nice to see the kids reconnecting and taking virtual pictures from afar. And there just seemed to be a lot of excitement out there. So thank you. I thought that was a really nice way to welcome the seniors back.
Thank you. It's nice to have good feedback.
It's a couple other questions came in while we were talking. One thing was on the Career Center. How is the school going to support the seniors doing the college applications? I do know that there are some things in the works, but Brent, I don't know if you wanted to talk to that.
Yeah, I mean, there were, for instance, the college visitations, those are all going to be virtual, and we're working on a calendar and getting that all set up. The counseling department, they're inundated currently with schedule changes and all of those sorts of things, but they are working towards a plan to get out to seniors in great detail so that we can continue the college application process. So that's it's work in progress, and you should soon hear from Michelle Steingart, the assistant principal in charge of guidance and counseling, the plan that will be developed to continue that support for students.
Great. There was another, there's a customer, sorry. Can you tell I do this all day for work? There was a comment from a parent saying, thank you very much for being here. It can be a hard job, and what can the Pally parents do to support you?
I've received lots of support, even starting from my first introduction to parents at a site council meeting with over 300 people on it. I took that as a positive because I feel that the Pally community, parents in particular, you're extremely supportive, and at the same time you want great things to happen, and I'm here to tell you that that's what I'm seeing. It's hard to get probably a great perspective, but just in the short time that I have been here, and it's even longer than a short time, because technically I kind of started dabbling in the principalship at Pally back in March. So I have started from the balcony of the auditorium, and now it's center stage with everything. And I've just seen, not only through the conversations, but through the actual instructional practices, I've seen lots of great changes. So there's a lot of great support. I would say currently, I just ask for patience for all of us, particular teachers, as they work through it on the virtual world. It's a stressful experience to try to manage, Karen. I'm sure that even with this big Zoom meeting, I'm sure you've got a little, anxiety, and that's what's going on still right now. And I did it when I had my first meeting with the staff last week. Things don't go necessarily correct, and when you go to share things or play things, it takes a minute. So I think patience and understanding as we continue to shift into change. And in terms of, it's difficult to articulate right now what kind of support, because it's also new. So I know that you'll be hearing from me as it gets more specific, but I know that teachers are inundated right now with communication, not only with each other, with students and parents. And if you don't get a email response within an hour, don't worry about it, because I know that teachers are are not only being expected, but they are following through with getting back in communication. It just might not be as quickly as we always wanted it to happen.
Okay, and I was pinged a little bit by Sonia. I wanted to follow on the earlier question about the college and career counseling that Sandra Chernabori had sent her with some messages. That you had mentioned there are being college visits scheduled. I think the first is in a couple of weeks, so keep watching the Pally link. These are only for Pally students. So a school such as Vanderbilt, which I know is coming up, there'll be a Zoom session for the Pally students to log into. I think so look at pally.net/college. Also, I think there will continue to be the workshops. So if you've seen that in the past where they have the app writing workshops and things like that, those will continue to happen. And there is a new college counselor, Janet Cochran. Her bio is online as well, so you can take a look at that. One thing, so I'm going to just keep going with the questions that I saw coming in. Do you know anything about schedule corrections? Many of the seniors are still impacted with their schedules. Do they get priority? Will this continue to get worked out?
Yeah, the counselors, again, as I mentioned earlier, they're inundated right now. And starting with with errors and open periods, they're working. It's triage. We're working at the biggest issue first, and getting our way down there. And seniors are a top priority, of course.
Okay. Another question that came up, and sorry, I know that they're all over the place. I can't bucket them in real time.
Yeah.
The Pally Connect is today. Is that mandatory? I know my senior is probably listening in at this second.
Yes, it is. It is. Absolutely. It's
okay. It's mandatory.
There's several. There's 3 sessions of a huge variety of opportunities for students today to kind of connect with lots of staff members and see their talents. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. So yeah, they need to go on there and check out something that interests them so that they can get connected. It's another chance for them also to interact with other students, which is a huge thing right now.
And this might go into another parent's question, which was just about Zoom fatigue. And it goes into another question that I saw. So one was, is there a way for the teachers to assess or to help with the Zoom fatigue? But also there's a question regarding class time rules. There hasn't been a consistency among the teachers to require students to leave their video on. After there's a check-in, will that change eventually?
I think so. We're just working out the kinks, and we need to be sensitive. I know that we do expect video on, but not 100% of our students have that opportunity to. There's some personal concerns that we need to address and be compassionate about with students. Whether or not where they live or just their situation, it might not be conducive to be able to show on a video. So we're working through one student at a time on that particular expectation.
Okay. Let me see. I know I was offline for a second. Was there a discussion about possible SAT, ACTs at Pally?
Yeah, I talked about we're not able to entertain that idea right now because of the not only the state restrictions, but also because the county's on the watch list. And until we get off the watch list, then we can start looking at that and seeing if we can get it here as soon as possible. So it's still a work in progress on that, like many things are.
Okay. One parent had brought up, with there's fires going on, electricity outages. Has there been a thought to making study rooms available for some kids that might be impacted due to, internet electricity issues?
I don't study rooms here on campus. Is that what you mean?
I think so. Yeah.
I can't have any kids. I can't do that right now.
Okay.
In terms of daily consistent, we can do quick events with social distancing, but I can't have them here like that at this point. Then that will be once we can, that's part of our PAUSD plus. So that's where we're going to have open spaces, large open classrooms, whether it's the gym or the student center or the library for students in that particular that don't have access and things. So as soon as we can, we will be doing that.
Okay. I did see a note somewhere about, maybe it was from Pally ASB, about the student ID photo, figuring out a time for the ID photos. Someone had asked, can we use last year's, but I'm pretty sure that there's a plan on how to get those done at some point.
Yeah, the plan is we're going to push it back.
Okay.
It was just one of those things that was one additional things that I felt wasn't necessary right now, especially as distance learning. And once things ease up a little bit and we have more wiggle room, we will get pictures and a schedule set. So
Okay.
if IDs are needed, we can get temporary ones for freshmen, but at this point, since we're not doing events, they're not really necessary at this current time.
Okay. One question that came in that's pretty important was, can you talk a little bit about how tests will be proctored and how grades are going to work?
Well, students are going to get grades. I mean, grades going to look like it has prior to this, is based off student work and feedback, and whether it's an essay or an assessment that students will be getting letter grades this school year. We're still working through the assessment piece, and luckily we're not at that point yet that we're doing hard assessments. So it might be one-on-one conversations. It might be through open-ended questions and things. I know that the district is working on a secure testing site kind of program so that we can provide more of a secure assessment. But it's going to be a partnership again, and that teachers' expectations and parent expectations will be that we want students to be able to show their work and no one else's. And we're all going to have to work together as a Pally community to ensure that happens. So, yeah, again, just like a few other things earlier, it's still a learning curve and work in progress, but we're making some headway and getting some conversations and some thoughts about how to do that from the teaching standpoint.
Okay. A question about glass blowing. Is there an update on that program?
I don't have specifics. I know that the teacher's working on being as creative as possible to get through whatever material and learning that needs to happen virtually. I'd have to speak directly to the teacher to understand that, and I don't have that information right now.
Okay. One question. Could you talk about your background and your philosophy so that we can get to know you a little better?
Well, that's a huge question.
I know, glass blowing to all about you.
I don't get that much because it's not all about me. It's all about you, and it's all about our students. So that would maybe encompass my philosophy too. I'm not leading and not being a principal because of a position. It's because of a desire to bring people together collectively into a unified vision. And I believe in ensuring that together as a staff that we agree upon our vision and that we believe and that we address it every single day. And so if there's something that you really want to know what I'm working on, it's exactly that, is understanding what it is to be not only a Pally student, but also a parent and particularly a teacher. And what is it that we believe in, and what are some things that have been done that are really are an exceptional program experience, and what are we doing that maybe could be adjusted and fixed from a new person here. I'm not here to change everything, but I'm here to give my expertise as being a high school principal for 18 years. This is only my third high school. I was a principal first up in Washington State in a school called Mariner High School, where I was principal there for 13 years. And I broke the tradition, which I'm going to do here too, you all, is that the longest principal at Mariner only lasted 6 years, so I doubled that. I'm here to bring that consistency and that determination to Pally. Um, I know that there was a question earlier that principals come and go, but I, I'm I don't know why you would come and go here because it's such a great place. And I understand that there's a lot of huge expectations, but I also am a person that believes that it's a collective effort and it's not a you and me, and it's not a separate community. It's one that everybody collectively needs to be involved in. And going back to the whole patience thing, especially now, and you also need to understand that I am a new principal meeting most of my staff virtually. I have not ever met them personally, and so that takes a little bit longer to understand the tradition and understand what particular needs need to be addressed. And rest assured, I've already determined some things, and some things in terms of agreements that we need to have as a staff, and expectations that need to be consistent and simple. And I've introduced a few particular ones when we had our opening meeting, and it's nothing that's out of the ordinary. It's just so that we are ensuring that students have a consistent experience from teacher to teacher. Specifically Schoology, we're hoping that you see a difference, our students see a difference in the formatting of it, so that there's a greater consistency from one teacher to the next. So I believe in building communication, I believe in building capacity, but most importantly, I believe that the number one reason that I'm here, that you're here, and that our teachers are here are for our students. So I'll wrap it up by my philosophy is students first.
Okay.
I don't know if I answered the question.
I don't even know how to follow that up, but I will. So Dr. Austin talked about, starting to look at reopening. I think it's October 12th. How quickly can Pally open if Santa Clara comes off the watch list?
That's a great question, right?
We have smart parents.
I mean, I wish it could happen overnight, because this is the craziest opening of school I've experienced, and it's going to take some time. I mean, if the county comes off the watch list and we're able to work through some things, I know that the first conversation of a date would be at the start of the quarter. But ultimately, I mean, I think in reality, I think that we're in it for at least a semester. And I know it would take a good couple of weeks, I would think. I don't know. I don't even want to answer that. I don't know how long it will take to get it back online after we're given the go-ahead. So I'm sure we'll be having some of those conversations as we get further from the first day of school. Okay.
And first, I want to comment to the parents that are adding to the chat with knowledge that you have. Thank you very much. This has been a great way to information share, so I really appreciate all of that. And I will just put in another plug, because it's in my head right now, because I saw it on Instagram, so it must be true, that senior photos and quotes are due on October 16th for the yearbook. That does not mean you need to go out and hire a photographer. It's just the seniors get an opportunity to have a different photo, not their school ID. So it could be something that you took on vacation or etc. But that will be due to the yearbook on October 16th. Sorry, I had to get that out of my head. Moving on to the rest of the questions. Why is there a 15-minute break between classes, even though students don't need to change classrooms? Instead, we can make them socialize in between classes, or maybe do some exercises to avoid Zoom fatigue.
We're lessening it was 15 minutes for the first couple of days, and we're getting rid of I think it's down to 10 minutes now. Okay. We just wanted to give kids and teachers, for that matter, some extra transition time to go from one Zoom link to the next.
Okay. And how will the app writing workshops be conducted? Oh, that's College Center. I don't know if someone from that's more associated with the College Center wants to weigh in on that on chat. Let me see. Social emotional support for our kids. Can you address that?
Yeah, we just shared. You're able to, are you able to access the videos that we shared with students after they're played?
The
have you,
Pally Welcome.
yeah,
Oh my God. Has anybody done it? I haven't yet. I've been so busy with work.
I mean, because
Um,
I'm pretty sure that parents are, we're also sharing it with parents. If not, I will make sure that we get that out there, because there's a whole, that was our Pally welcome yesterday. That was the wellness team sharing how we're going to maintain connections. I mean, they're there, we're doing it virtually. There's links that, if students are feeling any particular levels of anxiety or any sort of social emotional concerns, that they can quickly go to the Wellness Center virtually and submit a request for an appointment so that they can have those conversations and work with them. It is all about social and emotional, and that's why we have the schedule that we have right now, so that we're able to provide students with some interaction and some and also information and about what's going on beyond academics and how we're trying to keep kids connected. And I know that Greer is going to work tirelessly on maintaining a virtual connection with our students activity-wise, right?
okay. I don't know how to unmute. I can't unmute you. So sorry.
I think that's me. There.
There you go, Greer.
Right, Brent, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, I think the ASB team really is excited to find. I mean, we kind of feel like the sky's the limit this year. That we can really just break the mold and just really have fun finding ways to be able to connect with students. And especially, I think for this generation of students, they're already so used to connecting virtually with each other. The ideas that the ASB students have are far greater than anything that any of us have when we've been so used to physical in-person experiences. These students, it's like breathing for them. So they're really excited to just hit the ground running. I think especially next week after we get through all the welcome week work that we've been working on, we're excited to kind of get into it. And I'm posting right now, Brent, the welcome link from yesterday so everyone can access that.
Thank you, Mr. Stone.
No problem.
Okay. Another question. Is the administration considering an activity-based plan? For example, tests on site so the teachers don't have to invent new assessment methods?
We'll do whatever we can as soon as we can allow students back on campus for those sorts of things. Currently, we're unable to do that.
Okay. Let me see. The county is allowing small groups to gather outdoors. Can Pally do that for students so they can connect with their peers and their teachers?
I can't answer that right now without seeking that knowledge from district folks, because I haven't heard that yet.
Okay. Another question. Are seniors given school time to work on college applications?
Not that I know of right now. I mean, we haven't carved out any time to do that, but it's certainly something that could have a conversation. Sure.
Yeah, I might speak as having an older kid. I recall tutorial time being used. So just for whoever asked that question, I mean, you know, of course this year is all different, but I recall with my sophomore that they had time in class to work on that, but I don't know what the current plan is. But we're capturing all these questions and everything.
Yeah.
Any other? Let me see. I want to go through just to make sure. And I really apologize if I missed somebody's questions. Oh, here's one. Oh, that's a comment. Sorry.
What's going on with the construction projects? The science building's getting closer and closer. So it's ahead of schedule. The turf, I know that the soccer field is done, the football field is near to being done, and there's some work going on with turf in the baseball field as well, so a lot of field action going on. And the next project on the dock is redoing the infamous tower building, which is a building that hasn't really ever been touched. And so that's going to go in phases, probably the second floor, then the first floor, and um, and that will mean that the administration office will be moved to portables, the portables in the center of the school. But that you won't see that for a while. We have to first complete the science building, which will be done probably by December. So just a few months left.
Okay. Um, Here's a question that came in. For state mandated instructional minutes, does it have to be all via Zoom, or does offline work also count?
And yeah, it doesn't all have to be on Zoom. And so, I mean, we have class periods, and I'm not expecting teachers to be on Zoom during the entire period. Some will and some won't, so there's flexibility. There's Schoology. There's several ways to maintain connection, but it could be as simple as the teacher will start a project on Zoom and then give kids 30 minutes to do that and then come back. So there's going to be a variety of Zoom, off Zoom, and then coming back. So, but the required minutes, I mean, the expectation is that, this is your class period and this is the time that you're doing the expected work.
Okay, I think we kind of covered this, but I'm going to ask it again anyways because we are seniors. Are there any special virtual events that you know of now that are planned for the seniors because this is a very special year for them?
Greer?
I mean, as of now, special events for seniors. I mean, usually those special events are in the in the spring mostly. So I think we're staying optimistic and hopeful that we'll be able to have things back to semi-normal by then. So I don't, at least as of now, I'm not anticipating any major changes to those spring events. And if we have to, then we will. As far as immediate senior events, besides the senior swag day on Monday, there's nothing currently on the docket. I know Spirit Week is always really special for seniors, and since we recognize there's no way we would be having a traditional senior week in the fall, ASB has agreed that we're going to push it back to the spring to hope that we can have it there. And if for some reason we can't do it in person in the spring, we will do some sort of virtual Spirit Week. And we are talking about some sort of kind of Spirit Week light activities for probably the week before Halloween right now, where ASB students and I are brainstorming ideas to be able to create some sort of sense of school spirit and costume wearing and stuff, even if it's going to be virtually during that time. So we're working on all that, just nothing on the calendar right now for another senior event.
Okay, bonus, almost two events. What about back to school night? I mean, obviously you're not going to have, 200, 500 parents running around on campus. Is there a plan for trying to do a back to school night? And maybe that was covered before and I missed it.
Yeah, I spoke about it earlier.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. I'm working on communication with the instructional leaders, and we need to get some thoughts from the teachers. Typically, I know that it would be the second week of school, which would be next Thursday. Quite honestly, I don't know if that's going to be doable, and maybe we might need to push it back a week just to give people more time to get this wrapped around our head. How can we do this? It would probably be it will be a virtual experience, and how that will look, it's still under consideration. I apologize for not having the answer, but I hope you all understand that we needed to start school first and figure that one out. And now that it's going on and we're recovering from the huge anxiety of that first day, we'll be able to start thinking more about that. So I hope to get some information out before the end of this week about back to school.
Okay. I just did a final call for questions. I don't want us to get Zoom fatigue as well. And I do really appreciate your time today and for the switch in the schedule, and Greer, for you as well. Anything else parents want to ask? And you can ping me afterwards, and we can, anything that wasn't asked, we can try and get answers for you. And we'll also try and keep you updated as we hear things as well. And with that, Principal Kline, we really appreciate you being here today.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I'm here. It's although meeting people like this, I can't explain I can't fully explain what I feel, and I feel connected already to all of you and to this school. And I think I know it's because I love a place with great tradition. Every high school I've been the principal at, 3 now, it's been the original school of the district. And I think there's something there about that, and I'm here to keep that tradition. And it's a very honorable one, and I take my job with great seriousness, and I also want to have fun at the same time. And so getting to know people and getting to know our students in a variety of ways is something that I'm learning to adapt to virtually. But I feel enormous amount of support, like I said earlier, and I know that there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I apologize for that, but I want you all to understand too that we're building the plane as we're flying it right now, and we're trying to do as best we can. And great patience is keen, and also to remind our students and remind your kids that that it's not remind them, you don't need to remind them, it's tough. It's so different. But we gotta make do. Jenny in the main office, the main reception says, Brent, soon we'll look back at this and it'll be like a blink of the eye. But my eyes feel like they haven't blinked for a while. So I hope to blink them soon and have this passed. The reminding our students, the patients, reminding them that behavior on Zoom is we need to ensure that we're having great behaviors and not saying anything that is inappropriate and all that sort of stuff. We still have the same expectations, and our Pally students are doing great. I haven't been informed of any mishaps or unusual or misfortunate behavior. So I'm proud of that, and you all bring us. The students that I've met, they're also nice, and I thank you all for teaching manners and great behaviors and respect that I have seen from every single student I've met. So I greatly appreciate that from all of you. So yeah, I'm excited. I love being a principal, and I'm excited to bring that here to Powell because I think it's been a long time.
Well, thank you. Again, thanks everyone. I know there's a couple questions we didn't get to, and I will get answers for those. I have saved the chat. We have the recording, we have the notes. We will send that out. And again, thank you. And keep sending the questions in, and we'll do our best to track things down for you. It is really hard not to kind of wander on campus and ask somebody. So it's really nice to see all of you. I miss all of you very much. So anyways, let's go Vikes.
Go Vikes.
Okay, and somebody can,
oh.
I'm not the host, so I can't end the meeting.
I'll do that. You want me to end that? And did you say you've already saved the chat?
I will save it one more time. Okay, chat is saved. And if you could stop the recording too, or whoever can do that.
Oh boy.